Alright everyone, it's Monday and bang! Just like that, we're into the international break. Apologies if I just made you leap out your skin there. I felt I had to get your attention there nice and early because it's very easy during international breaks just to kind of slip away into your own world. But this one is going to be different. It's the first international break of 2023 and I'm going to stay focused for the next fortnight. We're going to maybe delve into other wee Celtic areas, but it's going to very much be business as usual. No boredom here, everyone. I managed this last night, but I can't get it to land on its bottom. Where were we? Yeah, international break, not getting bored or anything like that. This is what the Scottish Premiership League table looks like right now and what it will look like for the next fortnight. And yes, Celtic are 9 points clear. It's been like that since week 15 of the season and it remains like that today, although we are much closer to the Premiership title than we were back on match week 15. Maybe a little bit graphic heavy on today's video. That's how I've kind of been occupying myself earlier today. Probably spent far too long making graphics, hence why the video's out a little bit later. One graphic that I did want to show you was one which highlights the incredible run of form we've been on since we returned from the World Cup break. So if you think back all the way to mid-December, the World Cup was actually still technically going on at that point when we returned at Pittodrie. I think we played Aberdeen on the Saturday, late Callum McGregor goal. And then I think it was the following day, Lionel Messi won the World Cup with Argentina. So that's kind of how long ago we're looking at. It seems, ages ago. And Celtic have been hard at it since that point, playing with very little respite, and our form in this period has been incredible. Just take a wee look at this run of form, and all those green W's there beside the games are obviously matches that we won. 19 matches in total, 18 of them won by the team, with the other being a very decent draw at Ibrox, and we're currently on a run of 14 wins in a row. As we discussed last week, our kind of best recent winning run was under Brendan Rodgers, season 2016-2017. We managed 17 wins in a row at that stage, so we're currently on 14 now. So, win at Ross County, that's 15. Beat them in the derby, that's us on to 16. Killie away, 17, and potentially break the winning run record of the last 7 or 8 years at home to Motherwell. Now it's always interesting for us fans. I think it's a kind of talking point for us to look at the winning run and kind of compare it to recent teams. And there's been a lot of chat certainly on social media recently about how does this team compare to the Brendan Rodgers team, and even the Martin O'Neill team, which I think is a very ambitious comparison at this stage given what that team achieved in Europe compared to what this current team has achieved in Europe. But it does just go to highlight how highly people are thinking of this team at the moment. Having said that, I doubt conversations like that and even winning run records and stuff like that is going to matter too much to Ange at this stage. He probably doesn't even know the winning run that we're on in comparison to the Brendan Rodgers winning run. Well, he probably does now because he obviously watches all of our videos, but the point I'm making is that Ange is just going to be very focused, and the players are as well, and it's just going to be about continual improvement until the end of the season. We know Ange wants his teams to peak at the end of the campaign. Now, me and Stevie certainly weren't peaking on Saturday evening when we spoke about our win over Hibernian from Celtic Park. You can check out that video above. Just on the subject of Saturday's game, I want to pick out 3 players who I felt really offered big moments for us in that match, and some of it is with your help. So we start with Neste Naiftiv. I don't think we have appreciated how emphatic CCV's performance was. He drew out the second yellow card, he drew out the penalty. Without these two major events, do we still take 3 points? Well, yes, of course we do, because nothing stops this Celtic team. But yeah, I take your point, two really big moments from Carter Vickers. I must admit, I often feel like I'm losing the plot when doing this, mainly when I'm on a video with Stevie, but certainly feel a bit like that today, and kind of since full time on Saturday, when I've been hearing some of the chat about some of the contentious issues that took place during the game. Hibs seem particularly incensed. Lee Johnson let rip after the game. I think the Hibs chief executive, is it the chief executive? Yeah, chief executive Ben Kensel, I think, kind of lost his cool a wee bit. And I kind of struggle to see what they're getting so frustrated about. The main chat seems to be about Ellie Ewan being harshly treated and being sent off. Now, the first thing I'd point out that I didn't actually realise until later on Saturday was that Ewan hadn't been given a straight red. It was 2 yellows he was given. The first one for a kind of late challenge on Starfelt that for me, yes, was a booking. And the one that kind of seems to be getting most of the attention, given that it was Ewan's final act on the pitch, was this high boot that caught Carter Vickers in the face, or certainly, you know, around that area. And a lot of people saying that was harsh in terms of him being sent off. For me, you know, 2 bookings, maybe a little bit of sympathy for Ewan in terms of him, you know, neither of them being particularly malicious, but what I would say is that on a booking, to lift your boot up high, knowing that Carter Vickers is on your back and knowing that Carter Vickers is probably going to try and head the ball, I thought was taking a big risk. It was daft from him, and he had to pay the consequences, and he was sent off. So yeah, for me, 2 bookings, both bookings, and I don't really see what all the Hibs chat is about after the game. On the penalty, which again, you know, a lot of people saying that it was really soft. Hanlon gets wrong side, has a tug on Carter Vickers. It's not quite as obvious as Starfelt's one on. I think Hanlon in the first half, Starfelt's holding Hanlon's jersey for about 3 seconds. I think the Hanlon one on Carter Vickers in the second half isn't quite as obvious as that, but he still gets wrong side and still pulls Carter Vickers back. So they're both penalties. And yeah, fair play to Carter Vickers, as you say, 2 big moments in that game that certainly helped us towards the victory. Next up, my spaghetti could be better. Great resilience. I'm going to put a special shout out to Jota. Sometimes this season he has not hit the stunning form of last season, and we know what supporters are like, so quick to turn.
I can apologise to the channel there. I had a proper nightmare, but look, as I say, I've not been well. End of.
You don't need to apologise to them, you need to apologise to me. I'm
Never.
the one who had to deal with it at half-time.
Never.
This boy has something in him that so many wingers lack, a real determination and will to win when things are sticky. His grit and passion for the club shines through, and we shouldn't forget this. Now, I'm not sure about the username there, but I think the point you make on Jota is brilliant. Remember when he signed, and a lot of the chat was about him being a flair player with little end product, or being a player who would like be showboating and looking great when you're winning 4-5-0, but maybe wouldn't be up for the rough and tumble of the Scottish game when you needed a big moment. And it's just like so far from the truth, because Jota has been amazing for Celtic in really important moments. He really takes the responsibility of big moments on, and that's what I love about him. A couple of examples recently: St Mirren away game, where he scores the equaliser, a bit like Saturday, albeit not from the penalty spot, and just really came onto a game. And it was the same on Saturday against Hibernian. Really took the responsibility of making things happen. And I think what's even more impressive about that is that both of those great second half performances came after what I would say were generally frustrating first half performances. Now, Jota had good moments in the first half on Saturday, but my kind of abiding memory of that is the one he had near the end of the half when he was playing out on the left hand side, and he had a chance to cross one in and he put it out for a goal kick, and the crowd was getting a little bit frustrated and Jota himself was getting frustrated. And a lesser player, might have crumbled, or maybe even more disappointingly just not have produced much in the second half, knowing that he probably had 15 minutes to really perform, given that Ange likes to change the wingers usually after an hour. I thought the way he took the responsibility on in that second half was brilliant. So I just wanted to mention him. Finally, I just want to mention, potentially, probably not my favourite Celtic player right now, but the player who has the potential to be my favourite Celtic player, Hyun Yu Oh, who scored certainly my favourite type of goal on Saturday. A header, a powerful header, just not bothered about any of the other 15 or so players crowded in the box. He just saw the ball and he just saw the goal and threw himself at it. There's been some great images going around of Josh Campbell is a Hibs player's name, who had a full grip of his shirt. There's one when O's shirt is, I don't want to rip this, but O's shirt is genuinely out to about there, and still he's getting on the end of it and heading it in. And I just thought that was real. It really highlighted the strength of the guy and his willingness to score that big goal. And the celebration is going to, it's going to take a lot to top that celebration this season. The top did come off at that stage. The knee slide was just perfect. But yeah, massive for O, really big goal. Delighted for him. Ange delighted as well. Speaking to the BBC after the game, he said, "Strikers thrive on that. He's going to be a fantastic player for us. We're slowly integrating him into things on and off the field, but I see him in every day in training. He's such a presence, a physical presence, and he has got good quality in him as well. He's just really hungry to succeed." And I think O has been brilliant so far. You hear some of the comments made by people, in the Celtic camp, and they're all very positive. Matt O'Reilly gave some brilliant comments about O really taking to life at Celtic and his teammates really liking him as well. You saw an image last week of the players going out for dinner, and O was one of the players there. So it just really seems like he's made a real effort, like Alistair Johnson and I dare say Iwata and Kobayashi as well, to really integrate themselves into life at Celtic and become part of this really close-knit group. And I think there's far more to come from O off the pitch as well, but I think it's been good so far. He is one of our players that will be away on international duty over the next fortnight. This is a graphic of the players here. 8 main players away. There are a few players not included on this graphic. Just no room for those guys, sadly. But 8 main players away. Aaron Moy was meant to be away with Australia, but earlier today it was announced that he'd been withdrawn from the squad due to injury. So, a really strong contingent left at Lennoxtown, the likes of Carter Vickers, Taylor, Iwata and Moy, all dealing with wee injuries at the moment. So hopefully they're going to be in tip-top condition when we return after the break. And hopefully those players on the left all get on well and don't pick up any injuries. But as we say, that's nothing we can really control at this stage. That probably goes for VAR as well, and that may well be another talking point during the break as well. Today it has been revealed that Dundee United are seeking an urgent meeting with Premiership clubs, the SFA and referees reps to discuss VAR. Now, Dundee United did concede an incredibly soft penalty to St Mirren on Saturday. Curtis Main effectively ran in front of a defender and then just fell over and got a penalty kick. Jim Goodwin wasn't very happy at all. At the weekend there were also really controversial incidents in the games. Motherwell v Rangers, obviously Celtic Park, and Killie St Johnstone as well. United have already contacted SFA head of referees Crawford Allen for an explanation. Bad luck, guys. He only ever gets back to you if you've had a decision go against you in a match against Celtic. I think everyone knows that, so you won't get a reply from him. But they are also submitting a request in writing, citing inconsistencies and a lack of clarity over decisions. Sounds very familiar. Now, something certainly has to be done here, because VAR isn't sorting out the kind of issues that we hoped it would. If anything now, it seems like we're having even more discussions about contentious issues following the weekend on a Monday, and you really don't know for sure when you're at a game the way something is going to go. You get some games where VAR doesn't kind of have any sort of impact in the match, and then you get games like Saturday where it just seems like it's been called upon to sort out every kind of minor debate. These checks that are going on, just to remind you, a check is different to a review. A review is when the referee's called over to the monitor, or when they're told in their ear, you know, this was offside, for example. A check is the one when you effectively play is stopped and you see the referee like that. And they happened like a lot on Saturday, and they just seemed to slow the game down like mad, which is fine if the right decision is being arrived at, but so often that isn't the case. You know, VAR has been in now since mid-October, which is close to 6 months now, and it just seems like the issues are just as bad as when it first came in. So yeah, not great, and that is the last time I will ever be optimistic about anything in my life. I hope that it would come in and be a benefit to the Scottish game, but it doesn't seem like it's been that way at all. So hopefully some improvements to come. For us and Celtic this week, no first team matches. There is a game at Anfield on Saturday, a Celtic Legends team playing against Liverpool. We may touch on that later in the week. Tomorrow we're going to maybe do a wee bit of a different video, one of those European based videos tomorrow, looking at Celtic's role in, you know, Europe, Champions League, the changes that are going on there, etc. over the next few years. So if you've got any kind of questions you want me to try and tackle in tomorrow's video, fire them in the comments below this video and I'll give it a go. Yeah, finally, I am legally obliged to wish Stevie of 67 Hail Hail a very happy birthday, so I've just written down something here. Here we go. Happy 53rd birthday, Stevie. Hope you have a good day, mate. There we go. 53 today, Stevie. So all the best to him. He'll be back on the channel very soon. And yeah, see you everyone.